The following is a Clark TV production brought to you in cooperation with Jack Clarkinson.
It's time for the Christmas Sack Show! Brought to you live from MrHolster's ranch, way up north near the Canadian border. Let's have a Yuletide welcome for that fun Santa of YouTube. Here he comes, direct from the bar, MrHolster! Sandy of YouTube, Jack? Are you serious? I guess that's why Sandy's overweight and got big red cheeks and a red nose. Because he's MrHolster. MrHolster's the biggest. Oh, MrHolster, yeah, that's me. Howdy, pards. Merry Christmas from MrHolster and Jack. We're glad you made it to our Yuletide clam dig here. We're going to have some fun tonight. Right, Jack? Because it's Christmas time, and it's time for us to have fun. So hang in, guys. Here we go. MrHolster's Christmas Extravaganza. Big introduction. Let's see what Jack got out tonight. Ah, the George Dickel rye. Yeah, that the crazy Scotsman sent us. Look at that crazy, it's almost gone. That's how much we like. Actually, I've had to keep myself from digging into this. We've been keeping this for special occasions. The only problem is Jack and I just have so many special occasions. It gets used almost every day. Well, let's pop the top on this one, Jack, as Machine Gun Kelly would say. Oh, yeah. Take a whiff of that, guys. That's some good stuff. Some nice George A. Dickel rye whiskey. 90 proof, 45% alcohol by volume. Charcoal mellowed by George A. Dickel and Company. Let's get a little in the old shot glass. All things in moderation, but no moderation tonight. We're on Jack's channel, and it's Christmas, Jack. You want to check it out? What do you think? All right? Yeah. Well, there was a lot in there 2 days ago, Jack, and I haven't touched it, so I think you know what this smells like. Let's pour a little in the old ranch shot glass. Oh, my God. West Texas dust. All things in moderation, but once again, not tonight. We're here to party, because it's Christmas time here at the ranch. Well, actually, it's Christmas time everywhere, but here at the ranch it's Christmas time. We'll put the top back in here. If Machine Gun Kelly ever shows up, he can pop the top himself. Oh, he better hurry up, Machine Gun. It's almost gone. That was a great present. He didn't even send it at Christmas. Jack, seriously, this is a Christmas show. Come on. Try to stay awake for at least the monologue, all right? Besides, you promised me you were going to write a good monologue after that one a couple weeks ago that Jimmy wrote, which, quite frankly, well, it was all right up to the last joke, but I have no desire to neck with Robert Goulet. Well, let's get going. Oh, yeah. To the sunny slopes of long ago, and to all those Christmases past. That doesn't heat you up, cool you down all at the same time. You guys spilled. My wife was a little upset with me this morning. And it seems in the middle of the night, about 3 in the morning, a guy was pounding at the door. He was lost, trying to find his way home. Yeah, that's right, it was me. I went to my dentist the other day, and he was a little surprised. Apparently, that was the first time he'd ever seen cork fillings. You know, most people see their dentist twice a year. I see mine twice on the first appointment. I went to a bar the other day. I thought, you know what, I'm going to take a little time off and relax. I'm going to go into this bar and have a few drinks. And I walked in and looked at the bartender, and the bartender says, what can I get you? And I said, I don't know. Surprise me. And he showed me a photograph of my naked wife. My wife went down to the cities the other day. She was going to go do a little antique shopping, stayed at her mother's place, and when she came back, she brought something that was a little musty, mildewy, covered in dust, and had cobwebs. Yeah, I brought back my mother-in-law for the week. At my age, I really need to have two women to sleep with, just so when I fall asleep, they got someone to talk to. I live near a town called Little Prairie, and the population of this town never changes. Every time a broad gets pregnant, some guy leaves. That wasn't very Christmassy, Jack. It was a good monologue. Thank you. I enjoyed that. Although, Jack, you know, you should have put in something that's more topical in the news that's going on. Like, I saw an interview with Rosie O'Donnell the other day where the reporter asked her about her still living here in America because she said she was going to leave if Donald Trump won the election, and she explained it to him wasn't her fault that Canada wouldn't let her in because they said they already had too much large game up there. Yeah, I thought it was a good joke, Jack. This is what we're talking about tonight, guys. Set this aside. We're just going to talk about two of the guns least liked by the powers that be here on this arena we're stationed. Yeah, boob tube. And this is what we're going to talk about, the Shockwave. I got my Shockwave out just so I could show it and talk about it for just a real brief second. And I've got a flashlight on it there. And the flashlight works very well. You can hit it. See that? There. Or I can move forward and still hit it with my hand inside this loop here. But what I've learned... Well, I learned it right on. You really have to keep your hand further back, but I did anyways because I want it further back. I don't want it down by the muzzle down there. But I had somebody say they set theirs up like this and the mount had bent on them, and I think what happened is they had their hand up here, and when they were shooting it with a heavy load, they were probably hitting it with their hand. So I thought I'd mention that. I, of course, just naturally have been keeping it in the back because I want it in the back. Because I want to keep away from the... You're pretty close. When this comes all the way forward like this, if you were really forward up on this thing, you see how close you are. That's why they have this strap, so I keep it back on the back of the forend. I just thought I'd mention that real quick. Really only because, like I say, the powers that be seem to really hate this thing. So I'll put that aside. This is what we're going to talk about tonight, guys. Let me just take a moment here to break. I'm gonna nip out for a second and we'll entertain you a little Christmas number. Bum 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 bum. Santa, bring me a dream. Give him a pair of eyes with a come hither gleam. Give him a lonely heart like the real Cobra burnout, and lots of wavy hair like Liberace. Oh Santa, someone to hold would be so peachy before I grow old. So please turn on your magic beam. Oh Santa, bring me, please, please, please. Oh Santa, bring me a dream. Please, Santa. I'm sorry. I was just a little, I didn't do my best because, well, I've got a little hoarse, but I left it outside. I was worrying about it. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'll get out of the way. Oh, very good. Very good. Yeah. Did you sleep through that, Jack, or were you awake during the number? Oh, applause, yeah. Oh, that was nice of Jimmy to stop by and do that song. You gotta love Cousin Jimmy. He really gets into the Christmas spirit, doesn't he? This is what I'm going to talk about tonight here. I got my, well, I'm going to take this whole thing off. Just a second while I whip this out. No, they're not upset. If it were Bomey's channel, they'd get upset. Well, probably not, because, well, he's got a better camera than I with better resolution, so maybe they would see something they'd get upset about. But this is what I got here. I got my Ruger Vaquero Matata. And I don't know what the Matata means. I assume Matata means something in some foreign language that I don't know. But what this is this is a gun they made a few years ago for cowboy mounted shooting. And they put a different hammer on it. It's kind of like a super Blackhawk hammer. And it's got some nice checkering on it, but it's wide. It's a wide hammer, and it's designed so you can, because when you do mounted shooting, you have to do it all one-handed. You have to pull your gun out while you're riding, so your other hand's got to use the reins, and you have to cock it and shoot the balloons as you go by. So it helps to have that checkering on the top and that wider hammer, because it all has to be done one-handed, you see. So they put that on it, and along with that, they put these serrations on the front of the grip frame so you get a better grip, because that seems to be the real problem is people, hey, you're out there doing it in the summertime and it's hot and sweaty, and the grips and the design doesn't really necessarily lend itself well to being able to hang onto it when your hands are really slippery. So they put that in there, and that does make a big difference. Kind of helps you get a grip on it. Now, of course, it's a shorter barreled version, a 3.5 inch. Actually, it's 3 5/8 inch barrel on the front, and 45 Colt, because that's what they use for mounted shooting is 45 Colt. After this, they brought out a version for cowboy shooting, and most of those that you'll see around are going to be in 357, because that seems to be the size everybody uses for cowboy shooting, because they can shoot it faster, and it's a little less expensive. And when they did that, they took these serrations off the front, you see? And this hammer was not legal for a long time in cowboy shooting. Then they changed the rules. They tweaked the rules a lot in the last 20 years to make it. When it originally started, you had to use guns just like they had in the Old West. You couldn't have modifications like that, but they kind of let that go by the wayside for whatever reason, I don't know. Make everything more competitive. But if everybody's playing the same field, why do you have to let the modifications come in there? I don't know why they did that, but they did. So you can buy this gun still, but it's not the same because they don't have the serrations on the front like that. Just thought I'd mention that. It's an awful nice shooting gun. I really do like it. Matter of fact, it's my favorite. It's my favorite cowboy gun. See, that's another thing. Powers and B don't like cowboys either, so I thought I'd mention that. Cowboy gun and the Ruger Matata Vaquero in 45 Colt, which of course nowadays most people call it 45 Long Colt, which goes back to when they brought out the 45, you see, the 45 ACP and these other things, and they started calling it Long Colt to separate it from the 45 Colt, which really isn't even 45 Colt, so it really doesn't make any sense, but any rate, I thought I'd show you that tonight too. Before I leave you, Jack and I want to wish you a very, very Merry Christmas, and we want to remind you that on New Year's Eve we're having a big party right here in the lodge, and we're going to draw the winner of the contest, the MrHolster 5,000 sub giveaway, the American Gunfighter 5,000 sub giveaway. We're drawing the winner on New Year's Eve night right here in the lodge, so you'll want to tune in, pencil that in. And, of course, we're going to have announcements on both MrHolster's channel and here to remind you. Thanks for tuning in from MrHolster and Jack. You want to wake up for a second, Jack? Huh? You want to wake up and wish them Merry Christmas? Oh, come on, buddy. Come on. Come on. From MrHolster and Jack, a very, very Merry Christmas to you and yours. Thanks for subscribing to our channel. Thanks for tuning in. Till next time, go out and stay safe.